It's time for a death battle list. uh, Smash Master Show versus Near Chris. Who would win? Death Battle fans watching this VOD on YouTube are not gonna get that joke. But obviously Smash Master Show would win. Obviously Smash Master Show, superior combatant, super orange, just the most orange person of all time. His orangeness will blind Near Chris, and Smash Master Show will be able to swoop in for the win. He's gonna show him who the real master really is. Uh, so hi everyone, welcome. So this is currently being streamed on my Twitch channel, but this is going to be uploaded as a VOD onto my second channel, which I really need to use more often. I need to use the first channel more often as well. Let's be frank, but especially the second channel. The second channel is like why have a side channel? Let's throw some bullshit on there, and here's some bullshit. No, so Death Battle is that their show what I like, and that's the whole intro. The intro is, here's a web show that I like, and that's it. And you're gonna sit here and listen to me talk about it for an hour. Hopefully this is under an hour. Hopefully my chat does not derail me, or more realistically, I'll derail myself. But we'll see who derails who. Who will win a death battle, me or my Twitch chat? Let's be honest, probably Twitch chat. It's definitely this is definitely a strength in number situation. They have access to a keyboard. I also have access to a keyboard, but I'm talking. I can't multitask, so they'll probably they can type facts and logic and roast me. So yeah, the Twitch chat's gonna win. So that easy death battle, complete stomp. Skip that episode. That episode sucked. Animation lacking. That Chris guy, ew. No amount of animation can do that ugly piece of shit justice. All right, okay. All right. So for those in Twitch chat currently, I imagine anyone watching this on YouTube, I imagine you already you clicked on a video with Death Battle in the title of your own volition. You know what you're here for. You don't need the history lesson. Anyone in my Twitch chat who is not aware, so Death Battle, you have probably, if you don't know what Death Battle is, you have probably seen one of their videos before and forgot. You have probably, more than likely, seen the original Goku versus Superman back in, when was it, 2010, 2011? That was like their most popular episode, and this was before a whole bunch of like YouTube algorithm changes were made. So this is at like 41 million views, which even for the time was like, whoa, what a bunch of fucking nerds. So if anything, if you don't know what Death Battle is, you don't regularly watch it, you have probably at least seen that video at some point. But hey, wouldn't you know it? That one video that you may or may not have watched is actually a part of a series that went on for 10 years. Nerds like watching fictional characters fight. Who'd have thunk it? Like versus debating is a pretty big thing on the internet in general, but as far as like shows that explore that concept, Death Battle is arguably the more prestigious and, in my opinion, the best. The first like 2-3 seasons, they were originally known as Screw Attack, but then they merged with Rooster Teeth. And back when they were Screw Attack, they did like a whole bunch of stuff on their channel, not just Death Battle. They did top tens and skits and all that fun stuff. But Death Battle obviously brought in the views consistently. So by the time they merged with Rooster Teeth, it was like, well, hey, shit, dude, let's just keep doing Death Battle. Let me should have closed the window before I started. I forgot that motorcycles exist in New York and they are loud. So let's do that, because I don't want the motorcycles to enter. This is the sanctity of the death battle list will be tainted by motorcycles. So they just decided, hey, death battle brings in the views. We like doing it. Let's just keep fucking doing it. So under Rooster Teeth, they rebranded from Screw Attack to just Death Battle, and they've been going consistently for over 10 years roughly, and 10 seasons. And going back to like the older episodes, there are definitely a lot that like don't hold up. Like, when you watch a season 1 episode, you could tell it's a season 1 episode. And then season 2, they started to a lot more bangers more often. And then season 3 was around when the Rooster Teeth merger happened, so they were trying to get used to the new seasonal format that they were doing. So I would say season 1 is like a little bit rough, minus the few gems that you still can find in there. Season 2 had a lot of really good ones. I would say like season 3 and 4 still had some bangers, but definitely more episodes that I personally am like, whatever, or just outright bad. But then I would say from like season 5 or 6 onwards, they were just like consistent all the fucking time. And 8, 9, and 10. The recent ones are just some of the best YouTube content on the internet, in my opinion. So again, you've likely seen Goku versus Superman, but I would encourage, go back and find some characters you like. Check out well, all right, because depending on who you like, if that character only has a season 1 fight, maybe not. Maybe not, but I encourage, look up other people's lists of like, here's the episodes you gotta watch, and I wholeheartedly recommend you check them out if you haven't done so. But fast forward to earlier this year, they had wrapped up season 10, in my opinion, best season, no misses whatsoever. They're in development of season 11. However, at some point, Rooster Teeth was bought out by it was one other company beforehand, I forget, but then they were bought out by Warner Brothers. And any story that involves Warner Brothers, you know it's not going to be smooth sailing. Oops. And hey, sure enough, guess what happened? Warner Brothers decided David Zaslav does not own enough boats, or whatever it is CEOs do. I don't know. Apparently, CEOs just like boats. I don't know. But whatever the reason, they shut down Rooster Teeth as they were like in the middle of production of season 11. And then obviously the future of the show was uncertain. The creators, Ben and Chad, also were like, they didn't know what was going to happen either. So Rooster Teeth officially closed down in May of this year. And we weren't sure what was happening. We thought, all right, season 10. Hey, you know what? We got Goku versus Superman 3 and Galactus versus Unicron right at the finish line. Hey, we went out on a bang. Now fast forward to about 3 or 4 months after Rooster Teeth closes. Ben and Chad announce that they are starting a Kickstarter. They managed somehow, with some kind of black magic, they managed to buy the rights to Death Battle off of Warner Brothers. I imagine they had to sell several of their organs to do so, but they managed to do it. So they started a Kickstarter, because now they are fully independent. They do not have the backing of a major corporation. So they started a Kickstarter to just like, okay, guys, so we have 4 episodes that were in production before Rooster Teeth closed. So we're gonna ask for a little capital just to get the ball rolling on these episodes, and then we'll see what happens in the future. We'll get these 4 episodes out, and then we'll see if we can get sponsorships or something after that. Within, I want to say, 30 minutes of that announcement. So the stretch goal was $75,000. $75,000 for these 4 episodes, and then we'll see where we go from there. Within half an hour of the announcement of the Kickstarter, on their way to where they were going to do a live stream promoting the Kickstarter, they didn't even get to the venue. In half an hour, they already blew that goal out of the water, and by the end of the day, they were, I want to say, if they weren't at $500,000, they were pretty close. So, in the death battle between fans and Warner Brothers, pretty clear-cut debate. Clear-cut debate. No arguments. And I myself also donated to it. I was going to initially donate a modest sum of $100. And then that somehow turned into me donating for the highest possible tier. If you do not know how much the highest possible tier is, please don't look it up. I don't want the Twitch chat to judge me live. Please, just. It's a reasonable number. It's a reason. Don't you bro me. Don't bro me. Don't bro me. Okay. Look. Every time I donate, every time I donate, it's always for a charity. It's always to charity. I want to donate to something fun for once. I want to donate to something. Wasn't it 15K? All right, no, 15K. All right, please. I got bills to pay. I still have bills to pay. 15K, calm down. All right? I'm not that crazy. All right? Whoa. It was 5K. Yeah, it was 5K. All right, look. Again, it's every charity, everything I've ever donated to is always like a charity. I need to donate something fun for once. The one old College Humor skit, where Brennan Lee Mulligan is playing the GoFundMe CEO, and he's just sitting there like, can we have like one fun one for once? All these are donate for my mom's hip replacement surgery. Can we have a fun donation for once? That was me. I was Brennan Lee Mulligan. I in that moment I was like, now again, Death Battle has been running for a third of my life at this point. I have been watching since season 1. I forget the exact episode that I jumped in on. It was either Mario versus Sonic or Goku versus Superman. It might have been Mario versus Sonic, but like all 10 years of my life, a third of my life, I have been watching the show. I remember watching Goku versus Superman in my computer class in high school, in my IT class when I'm supposed to be actually getting work done, and I almost failed that class multiple times, and it was only because of the person that I was watching Death Battle with that I passed that class. And if I may say, I spent my time wisely. I spent my time productively. So again, 10 years. If I'm gonna blow 4 digits on something, I'm like, this is the one. This is the one. Now I'm still okay. I did not put myself into financial dire straits. My wallet definitely cried. It definitely did tear up. My wallet grew sentience and cried a little bit, and I did have to call my bank, and I had to be like, yeah, that $5,000 charge, yeah, that was me. That was me. Yep. Yeah, something with the word death in the title. Yeah, that was me. Yep. So I did have to ensure that the donation went smoothly, but it's worth it to me. I wanted to donate to one fun thing one time. So your boy's gonna be in the credits of the first 4 episodes. I'm gonna be immortalized in Bardock versus Omni Boy, Omni Lad, Omni Man versus Bardick. I'm gonna be immortalized in Bowser versus Eggman. So that's right, ladies, one at a time, please, everybody, calm down. So we're doing this stream next week. They are in Texas. Death Battle is airing Omni-Man versus Bardock in a theater. As part of going independent, they wanted to celebrate their airing the episode early in a theater. I am going to Texas. I am going to I'm going there to see it. This will be my first time in Texas in 10 years. The first time I went was for Screw Attack Gaming Convention 2014. It was the only time I went. Before they then merged with Rooster Teeth Expo, RTX. So this will be my so 10 years ago, like roughly around the or like 3 years prior is like around the time I started getting into Death Battle. I might have the dates off a little bit, but so that was that, and now 10 years later, I'm going back to Texas for like semi-related reasons. So it's kind of a nice full circle moment. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, because I donated to the highest thing. I am part of the VIP experience. I'm a very icky penis. So I will be doing that. But yeah, it is open admission. You could, if you're in the area, provided they still have tickets, you can go in. But I'm gonna have a golden chair. I'm not gonna have a golden chair. I'm gonna be sit in a golden chair. It's gonna be ice cold. It's gonna be like, yeah, this is my piss chair. What's up? All right. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to Texas next week. But before I go to Texas, I wanted to do something like this. Uh, Before the Rooster Teeth shut down, I was toying with a Death Battle script. I did want to do a Death Battle related video for the main channel. Whether or not it was actually going to go past scripting phase and actually become a video on the channel in a timely fashion and not take me 5 years is another matter entirely. But I was toying with pre-production ideas in my head, what I would want to do for the video, etc., etc. But then the shutdown happened, and I'm like, okay, well, are these people gonna have jobs now? Like it felt like I should hold off on it for a little while. But now everything's great. At least for Death Battle. I hope that everyone else at Rooster Teeth who got laid off, I hope that they landed on their feet. But as far as this little bubble over here is concerned, we're thriving, bro, and nothing else matters. No. So what we're gonna do is it is as advertised on the tin. I'm gonna talk about the episodes that I want the most. I have multiple. I googled a bunch of thumbnails. Every thumbnail that I'm gonna show you today is not one that I created. If you just like Google the two characters that I show, you will find it. So no credit to me, credit to everybody who made these thumbnails. I just Googled and I just yanked whichever one looked the prettiest. So I have for you 16 matchups. It was gonna be a top 10. This is mostly an old list. This is a list. This is primarily a list that I already wrote, like sometime last year before, like in the middle of season 10. So originally, Scooby versus Courage was on here, and then they did that episode, and I believe Rick versus the Doctor was also on there. And they did those two back to back. So I was like, all right, cool. We got two of my most wanted right before Warner Brothers shot them in the face. So I went back and I changed a few of them, but for the most part, the majority of this list is like I wrote it like a year ago, and most of it still holds up. Most of it is still my current thoughts. But there are a few matches that I added on because in like season 9 or 10 they already did them. So. There will be 16 here. It was originally going to be a top 10. The other 6 you can kind of consider like honorable mentions. There are going to be some here that are so there are going to be some matchups here that are we have like 3 different tiers. We have like, so here's the matchup that I want. I want this character to specifically fight this other character. There's that tier, and then there's a tier below where it's like I want this character. I don't really 100% care who they fight, but I've decided this is probably their best one. They have other matchups, but I don't care. I don't care who person B is, but person A is who I definitely want it to be. I want them on the show in like whatever capacity that we have to. And then the third tier will be I want this character on, and then character B is just I have no fucking idea. Character B is I went to the Death Battle fan wiki and was like looking at all right, what matchups do you guys think? It's like this character, and I'll Google them for 30 seconds, and I'm like, sure, just sounds good to me, bro, whatever. So there will be some matchups here that are like the result of like 30 seconds of research, so they probably suck, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's because I specifically want one character, and so there are gonna be some matchups here where it's like I really only care about one character, but I'm like interested enough in learning about character B. So we're gonna fluctuate all over the place a little bit in that regard, but yeah, just letting you know about that. But I have 16 of them. 16 because that was in the seasonal format that they used to do. They would have usually 16 episodes per season. But now that they're independent, now they're losing the seasonal format. So now it's not going to be 16 a year. It's going to be just like however many they can do. But for tradition's sake, I'll keep it at 16. That's what we'll do this stream. easy. God versus Satan. Isn't that the matchup? Is it in day-to-day life? I wake up and I lay in bed and I go, God or Satan? Which side of the bed did I wake up on today? Do I did I wake up on the evil side of the bed? Am I here to cause chaos and anarchy today, or am I gonna be a good little bean? I think they said they want to do one each month, so 12. I believe that's the initial idea. That's going to be their initial goal. I believe they said that if they can do more than that, like once they find their footing, being independent, once they get into a groove, if they can do more than once a month, I believe they said that they'll try. But yeah, so it won't be 16, but just for the sake of tradition or whatever the fuck, we got 16 here. So I wanted this stream to be a little. I said that I wanted this stream to be an hour, under an hour. That intro took me about 20 minutes. So we're fucked. We're fucked. Everybody watching on YouTube, thanks for coming. Sorry, it's like you can bump up the speed. You can bump it up to times 2. It's okay. I won't judge you. I understand. I understand. So let's get this started. So hey, remember, hey, flashback to 5 minutes ago, where I said I had 16. Just kidding. I have 15. The 16th one is kind of a joke, and you're gonna understand fucking immediately. I'm not even gonna. You know what? I'm gonna click on this one. I'm gonna put it on the screen. I'm just gonna see if anyone in chat has any initial thoughts. And I will stress, this is gonna be one of those ones where it's I picked one character, and then the other one is like just whatever Google gave me. So all right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, questions, comments, concerns. Anybody? Questions, comments, concerns. Do you have issues that require tissues? Let me know. This is a joke. This is 100% a joke, and yes, everything. All right, do you have 3 hours? Who are you people? Excuse me, you don't know the greatest anime character to ever. I peeked the microphone. I'm so sorry. I just get so excited. So this, I have not watched The Walking Dead. The only thing I know about it is Negan being in Tekken 7. That's all I know. This is Psycho Busujima. I believe it's pronounced Saiko, but the English dub says Psycho because, haha. From anime prodigy, High School of the Dead. It is the worst thing you'll ever watch, but it's so bad that it works back around to being funny and good. But now, really, the only reason, again, this is a joke. This is a joke. I lied. It's not a top 16. It's a top 15. I lied. The only reason this is not going to be a death battle. This should not be a death battle. This shouldn't. We're starting off terribly. This is a terrible take. This is like a death battle cast at best, and even then we're pushing it. Literally, the only reason that this cursed thing was in my head at all is because, for those of you who have watched High School of the Dead, you may remember this moment. This is the only GIF that I have. This is the only GIF that I set up ahead of time, and it is the greatest thing to ever grace our human eyeballs. Behold. Behold. Yep. All right. Questions, comments, concerns now? Anybody? Anybody have any insight? Does anybody want to turn the stream off now? So yeah, this is quite literally the only reason that I have even entertained this thought. I need a scientific death battle analysis of this moment. And then while I was looking up this GIF, I also found this image, this comment. Let me revise my math, as I have not had the chance to read the manga. The average muzzle velocity of an M1A rifle is 2,800 feet per second, or 1909.1 miles per hour. This is in fact faster than Mach 2.5. At the distance he is firing from, the bullet wouldn't have had much time to slow, so it is still traveling at approximately Mach 2.5. Her boobs are potentially going double the top speed of the F-35 fighter jet. She... Yep. And this is an anime about high schoolers. You bet you sweet bippy it is, and that's why that's why again, this is a joke. This is we're starting things off with a bang. Don't worry. Don't worry. The next 15, we're all going to be on the same page. All of us, nobody. All right, I'm going to turn this fucking thing off now. No, all right. No. High School that is something you have to watch when you're like drunk and or high. It's something that you have to watch when you're drunk and or high. You can't do anything else. But yeah, so there's that, and now obviously Walking Dead scales to Tekken, obviously. So yeah, all right. This is not going to be an episode, nor should it be. Please don't. I'm kidding. We can make a joke about it. We can like DBX Death Battle Cast, not an actual, honest to God. The only reason that I don't know anything about, I forgot her name. I literally just said her name, Michonne. I don't know nothing about her. This is literally the only like decent image that I could find on Google. So I don't know if either of these two have any other opponents or if whatever. I don't know. But all right, we're gonna move on now because that 16th one was a joke. All right, so now the real list actually begins. Merry Christmas, everybody. Now the real list actually begins. Number 15. Unfortunately, no Matrix boobs on this one. Unfortunately, it sucks. This is one that honestly, so this made the list, but honestly, I'm not sure if I actually want it. I'm only adding it because this is one of the few matchups that I've actively, and I put this next word in quotations, researched myself. Now, of course, when I say research, really, like 3 in the morning, I got bored and I looked some stuff up, and that was about the extent of it. But Homer versus Peter. I agree that it's one that should happen at some point. It definitely is. It's an episode that I think should happen. Do I want it actually? I'm not super sure. Even though it is literally on this list, I'm still like, do I actually want this? And I don't know. And I'm fighting inner turmoil. Because like, what the fuck are we gonna do about Family Guy? What are we? Okay, so yeah, I also want to address this. They already did this in the show. Yes and no. So they literally, so yes, Homer and Peter did fight. However, it was like a slapstick thing. It was like a whole, how long was the fight? Like 7 minutes? It was like 7 minutes of slapstick. It was, and there technically was a winner, but they both were still alive at the end. It was basically Peter fighting the chicken, but replaced the chicken with Homer, and that was the fight. That wasn't a like a death battle thing. Like death battle is like they would take like they just like they randomly got alien powers in the middle of it because they just happened to fly past the alien spaceship in the middle of their fight. That's not how death battle would do things. Like again, the Family Guy crossover, it was all a slapstick routine. It's not like an actual analyzed, here's what the characters would and would not do sort of thing. So while, yes, they fought before, it's not in the kind of way that Death Battle would explore. Now, that said, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do about the Family Guy side of things, because the cutaway gags are oddly enough the one thing where I'm like, what the fuck are we going to do here? The cutaway gags are like, Peter can literally start the fight with like, oh my god, Lois, this reminds me of the time that I fucking killed Homer Simpson in Death Battle. And then it'll just cut to Homer's dead body, and then it'll cut back to Peter going, yeah, and like that because cutaway gags is just Peter rewriting the laws of nature and just rewriting reality on the spot because he can, and he could do that. And it's like, even if we take in like Family Guy has like more or less always been kind of batshit insane. Simpsons is like the more batshit insane stuff is probably Treehouse of Horror and like video games. But like what do we count? Where does the bar where do we place the bar? Do we cross the line here? Even back when The Simpsons was like everybody loved it, even before like it went like batshit, like nobody cares or whatever, there was still an episode where Homer like fell into the Grand Canyon twice in a row and lived. So I don't know, but the cutaway gags are what get me. It's literally just Peter could be like, "Oh my God, Lois, this is like the time that I fucking shot lasers out of my eyes." And didn't Peter literally become Death at one point? I forget. Peter became Death. He said, "Hey, Norm, I wanna. Can I do it? Actually, I want to do it." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they would do this. I don't know how. Yeah, in-depth analysis of cutaway gags as a power of Peter. Like that's legitimately a power. That's legitimately like. Cutaway gags destroy everything. And then even when it's not a cutaway gag, I don't remember the exact episode or the exact context, but like in the background, like outside the window while Lois is talking with somebody, Peter is jumping into a pool in the background. And then one of the characters talking in the kitchen is like, "Oh man, we didn't fill that pool up with water. If somebody jumps in, they would fucking splat on the ground and die." And then through the window, you see a rewind effect, and then like Peter's mid cannonball, and then he's just like, and he goes back. Like, did he do that? Is it explained? No. So like, they did it because it's a funny joke, but in the context of analyzing it for a serious fight, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Like they've had Toon Force type shenanigans and characters on the show before. But like the cutaway gags is just like again, like one time, 3 a.m, I'm looking some stuff up and I'm just like, I don't want to make sense of this, and then I stopped, and then it made the list anyway. So now I agree this should happen. This was on a vote poll that they did last year. It didn't win, but they probably are going to do it at some point. Peter Griffin scales to Fortnite. Every fucking fictional character on the show scales to Fortnite. Fortnite doesn't count, bro. Can Thanos rewind time when he jumps into a swimming pool? I don't think so. He probably can. He probably like, oh wait, this pool doesn't have water? Time stone. So they should do this at some point, but it's their problem. It's not mine. It's their problem. They can figure it out. I'll leave it to them. When it comes out, I'll enjoy it. Leave me out of it. Anyway, next one. Next one is this matchup was also on a poll. It did not win. And originally I didn't care, even though I appreciate both franchises involved. But I was like, nah, this idea is stupid. And then here, I'll put it on screen. So the number 14. And again, another one of those ones where it's like, I don't know how they would actually do it, but this time it's for a different reason from Homer versus Peter. I don't know how they would attempt this one, but Fall Guys versus Among Us. I know. I feel bad about it too, but it's when I originally saw it, I was like, that's stupid. And then this one, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. There's this one fan animation that they showed on Death Battlecast at one point, and it single-handedly made me go, all right, still stupid, but I'm in. Still stupid. This isn't stupid. I don't want it. No, this is stupid. Hell yeah, let's do it. So there's this one animation that they showed on Death Battlecast. Let me pull it up real quick. One animation they showed. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. At first, it's just like a regular Fall Guys thing. Credit, by the way, to Larry Winwood. Larry Winwood on YouTube. Oh my God, guys! Is that the imposter from Among Us? Oh my God! This is one of those things where it's like I really don't care about the analysis part because, like, do you focus on the imposter or do you also bring in the crewmates? And then can the Fall Guys actually die? They take a hell of a beating in every game that they possibly do. Like, this is one of those things. Like, look, like, come on, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Like, this is the kind of slapstick that I want. This is the kind of slapstick that I want. Like, it would just be a fun animation. Like, I don't really care about the I don't really care about the analysis part. Like whether or not it's like do you focus on just the imposter or do you also somehow involve crewmates or like the schematics of how the fight would actually play out, I don't know, but this one animation alone is like, okay, let's just make this a full fucking thing. Like the animation alone, I would watch it for the fight. I would not care about the debate. If anybody's actually having this debate, skill issue, bro. But I'm imposter must clear. They'll have political power. Fall Guy Bean can't do anything against Bean is sus. Oh, that is right. The imposter could just show up to the fight and be like, man, this Fall Boy, he's giving off a bad vibe. And then everybody, all the other beans will kill the Fall Guy before he can. He doesn't even have to fight. I don't know. One of those things where, like, I don't really care about the debate part, but I am down for the slapstick shenanigans that this would bring. Even though I've only ever physically played maybe 3 total games of Among Us sessions in my life. But I appreciate both of these series, even if I haven't played any of them like recently. But just this is one of those cases where one single animation alone makes me go, all right. Okay. I understand. I got you. I got you, boss. Number 13. Another one. Take a shot every time I say this. Another matchup where it's like one character I really, really want. I have no fucking clue who they're supposed to fight. So after again 30 seconds of Googling, I have determined that apparently Puss in Boots' best matchup is against this character, Mau Mau. I had to, what, I have to quickly Google what show they're even, I have not, this is a Cartoon Network show. I haven't heard of it. Heroes of Pure Heart on Cartoon Network. I don't know who that is. This is well past my time, of watching Cartoon Network. This is well past my era. But Puss in Boots specifically, Puss in Boots. Yeah, this is specifically the Shrek incarnation of Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is probably like one of the best animated movies I have seen in recent memory. I don't know if it's necessarily top 10. If any movie is in the top 10, it's probably like Shrek 2, probably. But just in recent memory, The Last Wish was fucking phenomenal. And if they brought Puss in Boots into the show, whoever he fought, if the animation was even 10% evocative of The Last Wish, which itself was evocative of Spider-Verse, if the Death Battle episode can reach even a iota of the movie animation, I'll be sharding in my jorts. It'll be phenomenal. Again though, I don't know who Puss's opponents are. I've heard Zorro, which I guess fair enough. Puss in Boots is like, he's Zorro but a cat and in Fairy Tale Land. But unless there's something that I don't know much about Zorro, but as far as I'm aware, isn't Zorro just like a regular guy? And meanwhile, Puss in Boots is like athletic ninja cat from Fairy Tale Land. And again, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know much about Zoro. Maybe he can fucking fist fight Zeus. I don't know. But one person who is a human, not One Piece Zoro. Zoro, the fucking millennials. Fuck Gen Zers. Come on, come on. Not Zoro One Piece. Although maybe, again, I'm gonna get into One Piece eventually. Also haven't seen One Piece, but even if Zoro isn't a regular guy, who is a regular guy is Inigo Montoya from Princess Bride, and I'm like, okay, Inigo's in one movie, and that's it, and two, again, a regular guy, a regular dude. No, but I digress. So again, I don't know who Puss's opponents are. But from the little iota of research that I did, Mao Mao appears to be like his quote unquote best one. I don't know. I just want to see. If not Shrek himself, like either Shrek or Puss. Puss is definitely known more for combat than Shrek. I feel Shrek definitely gets into fights, for sure. But like, it's not like what I like immediately think of when I think of Shrek. I don't think like, oh, I gotta go watch Shrek for the fight scenes. Like, he's not known for fighting. He can, but I think in terms of Shrek characters who like you look at them and they're like, oh, you are prime death battle material. It's probably Puss in Boots. So I would look forward to seeing if the animation can capture even a fraction of the magic that The Last Wish did. Such a good movie. I love it. I'm sure Mao Mao's cool too. I'm sure. Number 12. Again, say it with me. One character I really want. The other one I don't. You're gonna. If you're actually taking shots, stop, because you are going to die. Chris. We know you, Chris. When's the Undertale character gonna show up on this list? When's and wow, okay, you guys think so little of me. You guys think so little. Who put that on the screen? When did that get? You guys think you're so smart. Now, yeah, so surprise, Sans is on the near Chris list. Smash Brothers 6 is not happening for a while, so that wish list video is gonna be somewhere down the line. So I had to find another wish list to sneak Sans into. So this is the one. This is the one. We're gonna do it. I have no idea who the judge is. Sans versus the Judge, again, another one that was on a poll. I think it won the first round, but then didn't make it farther than that. I forget exactly. But I think it won one round, but then didn't proceed after that. The judges from a game called the judge. So I know the judges from a game called Off. I don't know the judge. I don't know Off. The only kind of Off that I do is the type of the Jack variety. Am I right, gamers? But so I don't know. And then here's Sans. I feel like we can just move on, but this stream is definitely going over an hour, so we may as well go full force. Now, again, the thing about Undertale is that I feel like unless you're doing Frisk, I feel like it's hard to put any of the other characters into a death battle because I feel like there's not really a lot to work with. Sans himself, quite literally, only has one boss fight in a route that is supposedly non-canon, and then everything else surrounding him is mostly based off of speculation and fan theories. So you really have just the one fight to go off of. And I guess even if the fight isn't canon, his abilities are, I guess. So whatever. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I'm mostly interested in this not because I'm an Undertale whore, not because you know Sans Undermans, not so much for that. I'm mostly interested in this matchup because I want to know how literally they take the game mechanics. Like, is Sans literally gonna have 1 HP? Is he literally gonna have 1 HP? Is the judge just gonna like poke him like, and it's gonna be like like slow motion fighting game KO. Okay, I don't know. This is one of those things where it's like, even though obviously Sans is the man's, it's not a matchup that I want because of the character. More so, just I'm interested in seeing how it plays out. Although I probably I don't know nothing about off, but if this matchup were to get announced, I would probably immediately go binge and play off like real quick just to see if I, you know what? Hold on, I'm gonna add that to my. Fuck it. I just gave myself a brilliant idea. I'm gonna yeah. For those of you watching the YouTube VOD, for those of you who do not know, this year I challenged myself to play and beat 50 games that I have not played and beat before. I'm currently at 25, and I have a little over 3 months to do the other half. So I gotta fucking move it. But I think I'll add off to the list, and then we'll see if this matchup goes any higher, or if I take it off completely. Off is a quick game. You can play it. Well, the different kind of off, also a quick game. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? See, streaming this was a bad idea. Streaming it was a bad idea, but we're in it now. So I digress. Sans, and then the judge is gonna judge him for his shitty puns, and that'll be the whole fight. The whole fight will just be the whole fight will just be them standing there talking to each other about how they know they're in a video game or whatever, and then Sans is gonna make a joke, and then the judge is gonna be like, "That shit was mid," and then Sans is gonna be like, "No, no," and so when I actually play off, we'll see if this changes. Uh, but also, if not Sans, it's I think it's really either Frisk or like that's really it. I can't imagine I don't know. I just want to see what Brandon Yates does with Megalovania. Oh baby, oh baby. Oh baby! All right, never mind. This just jumped up another 7 spots. Never mind. Number 11. Again, if you haven't already died. Now this time these are both characters who I know, and individually I would like both of them on Death Battle, but not necessarily against each other. But again, this is like the only one where it's like I can't find anything else, and I guess they're like. There is one and only one connection that I can think of, and it is not enough to justify it whatsoever. But these are both characters who I would individually like to see on Death Battle, but not against each other. Probably, unless there's something I'm missing, but I'm probably not. I think this one's pretty. Anyway, I definitely want Captain Underpants on the show. As far as I know, I'll explain. I believe me, I know this one's stupid. I'll explain. Captain Underpants, as far as individual characters and not matchups, as far as individual characters, probably in my top 3 or 5 that I want to see on the show. Captain Planet, maybe not in the top 10, but I definitely would be interested. But against each other, again, this was one of those ones I had to go on the fan wiki, and I had to be like, what matchups does Captain Underpants have? And like, because the matchups that he has, either I don't know, like one of his matchups was against Bible Man, and I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that. I mean, I'm sure Captain Underpants is the kind of character who takes the holiest of shits, but I don't think that's really much of a connection. I don't know. Like the fan, sometimes the fan wiki is spitting, and then other times the fan wiki is just making bullshit up. Sometimes it's just, yeah, I don't know, Bible Man, sure, I don't know. And then Captain Planet was like one of them, and it was one of the thumbnails that I googled, and the only connection that I could think of is that they're besides both of them having Captain in their name, the only connection I could think of is that they are regularly summoned by a group of kids that can't fucking do anything without like George and Harold are like, oh no, it's a giant booger monster. Better call Captain Underpants. And then Captain Planet, all the kids are like, man, we suck. That guy has heart as an element. Boo. You know what? Fuck that. We're just gonna summon Captain Planet and get this shit over with. That's the only connection I could think of. Yeah, exactly. The best connection is them both being captains who are summoned by rings, and like that's it. I was about to say like they're useless without the captains, but I think even the Planeteers get more shit done because George and Harold are just fucking elementary schoolers, so like fair enough. But yeah, one of Captain Underpants' opponents, apparently, this was before he got in Death Battle. Apparently, a popular Captain Underpants opponent at one point was Saitama. Now, I haven't read the last 4 books of Captain Underpants, and I've only seen season 1 of One Punch Man. But what the fuck is Captain Underpants supposed to do to Saitama? Did I miss something? I don't know. I'm sure the animation would be funny, but as like the animation, DBX, sign me up for sure. A Death Battle analysis. I'm not sure what they're like. Saitama fought Popeye because Popeye had Toon Force, and like that was the only way Saitama was gonna lose. But yeah, I don't. Did something happen in the last 3 Captain Underpants books? Captain Underpants, he fought the Wicked Wedgie Woman. Oh no, Saitama, watch out, bro. What are you gonna do? Oh, you can end the battle in 1 punch, but she can end the battle in 1 atomic wedgie. Oh boy. Yeah, Captain Underpants versus Saitama, it would be just as just a regular like fight animation, top notch. If I was rating this just off of animations, probably top 5. Like Captain Underpants Saitama, but yeah, I probably should have put Saitama in the thumbnail instead of I retroactively take Captain Planet off and I put Saitama in. Pretend Captain Planet is bald now. I don't know it, but again, versus debate, like what happened in the last 3 books that Captain Underpants can apparently now battle Saitama? I don't, and I'm gonna give the fan wiki a little bit of credit. I don't think both of them being bald is the only reason they did it. Because then, well, all right, no. I've also heard Krillin versus Saitama, which is even more laughable. So never mind. You know what? All right, never mind. Yo, fuck the fan wiki. All my homies hate the fan wiki. So, all right, I retroactively changed this to Captain Underpants versus Saitama, even though Saitama definitely fucking wins no contest, but it'll be funny. But Captain Planet, not to completely discredit him, I would like to see him also on the show, but I'm definitely more interested in Captain Underpants. But again, I don't know. Whoever made this thumbnail, God bless you. I don't see it. Fucking Aang makes more a sense as a Captain Planet opponent. Aang makes more sense. In fact, if I really wanted to give Captain Planet his own spot, he would have fought Aang, but Aang versus Genshin Boy is already happening, so I'm not gonna worry about that. But anyway, I digress. So there's that one. Next one. I'm gonna say this one is like this is more so encompassing an entire franchise and not one specific character. We are going to talk about SCP right now. SCP is not something that I have really interacted with in like a decade. There was that brief period back in like 2010, 2013, whatever, where like all those SCP games were popping off, like SCP Containment Breach, Security Breach, I forget what it's called. But like that was like one of the most popular viral games for like forever. SCP is one of those things where it's like, now in Death Battle you want to like, Death Battle primarily takes fictional characters from fictional media like movies and games and stuff, but when we get into versus debating that involves real people or fan wikis, the waters do start to get a little bit more muddy. Real people in versus, there's a fine line we got to cross. It's like, okay, let's not use the real person, but like, is there maybe like a caricature of them, like a fictional mascot-y version of them that we can use? Like, I don't know, like the few times that they've used real people on Death Battle, one was Justin Bieber versus Rebecca Black, and that episode was bordering on bullying, but that was all the way back in season 1. They don't do that anymore. They moved past that. God bless them. And then the other 2 times were Chuck Norris versus Sagata Sanshiro. Again, not like they're actual human versions, but like they use Chuck Norris jokes and the fucking Sega Saturn commercials. So it real people on versus is a little bit of a little bit of like, we don't want to accidentally make fun of people or like whatever, but we're not talking about that. But we are talking about like fan wikis, like fan creations. That's also like, how do we turn that into a death battle? Because the entirety of SCP is basically just like one. It's fan fiction in disguise. It's AO3 in disguise as a government database of monsters. The entire website is just like, people contribute to this mythology, and then if their contribution is good enough, it gets upvoted, and then it gets added to the list of the SCP. So like, how do we analyze something in a versus context that realistically 99% of the time only has a couple of images to go off of, and also has information that can be changed by fans at a whim? Like, if they were to announce that they were actually doing an SCP in Death Battle, everyone would flock over to the SCP wiki and just start fucking going to town like, oh, and they literally can never die, and they are invulnerable, and they are epic, and they are giant, and they shoot fire out of their mouths, and it's like big fought woo. They can. If this episode got announced, I mean, it would be crazy. So it's another one of those things where it's like, I don't really have a specific SCP in mind. Off the top of my head, I can only really think of a few that I remember. But like, there are some SCPs that are just like one of the other viral games from back then was like literally a staircase. You just walk down a staircase until the game jump scares you, and then you're fucking dead. So like, yeah, put the fucking staircase on Death Battle. Let's see how that goes. So obviously nothing like that. It has to be like a character. But even then, it's like, so I'm not really looking for a specific SCP. I'm interested in seeing how they would go about it. I'm interested in seeing the first time they bring SCP into Death Battle. I'm interested in seeing how they would do it. I don't really care about the matchup. I don't care if it's an SCP that I do or don't know. That said, the thumbnail that I did settle on by default, you already know it. By default, I did go ahead and I picked Doomsday versus 682. I don't really care if it's this one specifically. I don't care if there are detractors to this, and fair enough, fair and valid. I don't really care about that part. I'm just, if not this one, just any SCP. I'm just interested to see how they would tackle it. I'm interested to see what they would and wouldn't use, how they would go about presenting the information, given that, again, most of these SCPs don't have much actual footage to go off of. They would really have to like improvise. It would have to be like mostly pictures, or if they do use any fan creations, they're gonna have to like reach out and get credit from them, etc., etc. It's a whole. I'm mostly interested in how to put this episode together, and not so much the final results. That's my behind the scenes brain. I'm interested in seeing how SCP would be interpreted on Death Battle. I don't really care what the matchup is. And again, obviously, it's a fan wiki. It's a I've been making fun in good fun. I've been making fun of the Death Battle fan wiki this entire stream, but now we're actually bringing a fan wiki into Death Battle. So how are we gonna do it? But yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. They did do Doomsday versus 682 was one of the last Death Battle casts they did before the Rooster Teeth shut down, and I will say during that cast I was like, okay, I see the vision. I can get behind. If this is the one they go with, I accept it. But it's not my hard and fast choice. Number 10 just goes to SCPs in general. As long as the matchup is good, as long as the animation kicks ass, all I really care about at the end of the day, I'm just interested to see how they would go about presenting the information, how they would go about tackling it, so on and so forth. So that's all about that. Anyway, number 9. Number 9, Final Fantasy. Every Final Fantasy character on Death Battle has been from 7. They did Cloud, they did Tifa, they did Sephiroth, and then they did Cloud again. And then one of the rematches on the poll on the Kickstarter poll that if you donated you could vote for, one of the rematches was Tifa versus Yang again, a rematch. So I hope that one doesn't win, because it'll be the 5th time that Final Fantasy VII is on the show, and it'll be the 2nd rematch, and I don't need it. I don't need it. I would like a Final Fantasy character that is not from 7, and you bet your sweet Bippy that I immediately went to fucking Kefka Palazzo, baby. Now, Loki, again, take another fucking shot. Just fucking chug that Four Loko and kill yourself. I don't know if Loki is Kefka's best opponent. I don't know if Kefka is Loki's best opponent. All I really know about Loki, sorry to say, is from the MCU. I'm sorry. That's all I really know about Loki, and maybe a couple of Marvel video games. But as far as what I've been able to look up, Loki's the only one where it's like, okay, I guess it makes a modicum of sense, and also you're the only other character that I have any passing familiarity with. So I don't know. Loki, whatever. This is the Kefka hour again. This is the Kefka hour. Please, dear God, no more Final. I love Final Fantasy VII. Get that shit out of here. No more. We did Cloud twice. No more. We're good. Cloud versus Link 2, epic. Sephiroth versus Virgil, epic. We're done now. No more. The only other 7 character they could possibly do is maybe, I don't know, does Barrett have any match? I don't know. Whatever. I digress. No more 7. We need, if they bring Final Fantasy back to the show, it needs to be a new numbered entry, and my brain immediately goes to 6 and immediately goes to Kefka. Kefka, the biggest piece of shit imaginable. My Loki matchup was Beetlejuice, and that probably still not the best. I see that one a little bit more than Loki Kefka. I do see that one a little bit more. Yeah. Makoto Nijima versus Tifa. I'm actually going to talk about that one in a little bit. I don't have that on the list, but it does factor into something else that we're going to talk about a little bit later. But yeah, if they please, I just don't want to. I understand why Tifa versus Yang is on the poll. I understand, and in spite of its problems, I still think the animation is like still pretty good. I understand why they want to do a rematch, but I please know I need a different Final Fantasy game just once. And yeah, it kept. I mean, bro, I gotta see how they pull off Kefka's transformations in the final battle. That's really all it boils down to. I don't really have much to say on this one, other than I just need them to somehow capture the dancing mad sequence in a death battle. I don't care who Kefka has to fight. That's really this this is the short. We can move on now. Honestly, that's all I have to say. We can move on. Death Battle just somehow in your animation just like capture the magic of Dancing Mad and the final boss against Kefka, and you win. That's it. That's all I care about. I don't care who Kefka fights. Both Kefka and Loki probably have better opponents, but just for the purposes of this list, that's what I went with. But they probably have better. We're getting closer. The further up the list that we go, I promise most of these matchups are gonna be like, okay, character versus character. These are the two I want. I promise we're getting to that point. I promise. If you're still sticking around, God bless you. Anyway, now this next one, I originally Sans versus the Judge. I kind of was like, okay, Sans, they really only have like one fight to go off of. Typically, I'm not a fan of. I'm not the biggest fan of when Death Battle uses combatants that don't have that much material to pull from. They don't do it often, and when they do it, they make it work. But I prefer opponents that have like a lot of material to analyze and work with. Sans obviously only has one game, and then one boss battle. This next character has one game and one boss battle, and is in the game for even less time than Sans. But my brother, I'm here to tell you about motherfucking Nano Machine, son. Now we're gonna talk about him in a minute. We're gonna talk about him in a minute. Give me a minute. We're gonna talk about Funny Valentine in a minute. Give me a minute. Senator Armstrong is if they use another Metal Gear character, I imagine they're gonna go for Big Boss. I imagine Big Boss is next in line. I imagine. And again, Armstrong is in the game for like 40 minutes. And then in the Jetstream Sam DLC, an additional 20 minutes. So he does not have a lot to work with. But god damn it, he gets a lot done in 1 hour, my guy. He has changed the course of America. Not just in the Metal Gear universe, but in reality. Armstrong is leadership that we can believe in. Yeah, I don't have much. He doesn't have much to work with. This is one of those choices where it's like, yeah, sorry, memes win, bro. I got nothing more for you than memes win. If you're watching this like, wow, Chris picked Armstrong. Wow, what a dumb choice. I agree with you. I understand. We're on the same side, you and I. We're all sons of the Patriots now. But yeah, if they bring Metal Gear back, I imagine Big Boss is next in line. But by Jove, just this one's for me. This time memes win. Every other matchup is like, okay, it sounds like a meme, but hear me out. No, this one is now Funny Valentine. I have not watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure yet. I plan on getting to that at some point. Add that to the list of like 70 fucking animes that I promised people I would watch. But I did watch the Death Battle cast that they did with Funny and Armstrong. So I have already been spoiled on what Funny's power is. So that's kind of the problem with this. I won't say what it is, but that's kind of the problem with this matchup is even if Armstrong is already aware of what Funny can do, what the fuck is Armstrong supposed to do? I'm sitting there listening to the cast, like listening to what Funny Valentine's abilities are, and I'm like, oh, okay. So the only reason this is a matchup is because they're both over the top anime villain politicians, and that's it. Armstrong's got nothing. The only way that Armstrong wins is before the fight even begins, sneak up behind him and fucking break his neck, and that's the only way. But obviously that wouldn't be much of a death battle. That wouldn't be much of an animation. But like, yeah, like even if Armstrong knows what Funny's powers are, no, Funny wins. It's again, this is realistically probably DBX at best. Although unlike God's Gift to Mankind, High School of the Dead. Unlike that one, this one can probably be more justified as a death battle, but realistically, yeah, you would have to. The only way you would have to go out of your way to like to get the animation to even hit the 3 minute mark, they would probably have to just make Funny a fucking idiot. Like Funny himself would have to draw the fight out for long enough before he then decides, okay, I have now decided to fight, and then he does his thing, and then he wins. So it's, but I, again, I don't know. This again, another one of those ones where it's like, he's my guy, but he loses. It's a stomp, no contest. It. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Armstrong. You're gonna get one shot, and it has to be this way, my guy. Okay. But if there's any other Armstrong opponents, hell yeah. And just going off of how Funny's powers were described in that cast, I am interested. If not against Armstrong, I am also interested in seeing Funny Valentine get on the show just to see how they would interpret that power in a death battle animation. I would be interested in that. But just going off of strictly characters, Armstrong is leadership we can believe in these trying times. Next up, so there's two things with this. There's two things with this. One, Ruby versus Maka is happening, so we're already getting one Monty tribute. We're guaranteed one Monty tribute. But we can get two, baby. We can have another one. Why not? We can do two. We can do two, no problem. I don't. Monty we could do a whole season of Monty tributes. If the goat was still alive, rest in peace. If he was still alive, he could just like go over to Death Battle and be like, all right, so here's the 16 episodes I want. You could just make a whole season off of what that guy wants. You do it. So Ruby versus Maka is already happening. But we can do two. But the second problem is that Master Chief versus Doom Guy is on the rematch poll, and I'm willing to put hard money down on it that that's gonna win. So Chief versus Doomslayer is probably gonna happen. Now Chief versus Doom Guy, that was probably a debate. Chief versus Doom Slayer. I'm sorry, Chief. All the lawnmowers in the world are not gonna protect you on this one. I'm sorry, but so odds are that rematch is gonna win. Odds are, but in the event it somehow doesn't, this is the one that I want. Now, the original Haloid animation by Monty is really, really good. Even like that was like how long ago was it? Like over a decade ago. It still holds up incredibly well. But a couple of things that would differentiate that from a potential death battle. One, that wasn't actually Master Chief in that animation. It was Nicole. It was a different Spartan. They reveal it to you at the end, but that wasn't actually Master Chief. Two, some of the things that they do in that animation, while it's still a really good animation, there are a couple things they do in there where I'm like, okay, I know you two are badass, but we are verging on Dragon Ball Z territory. I don't know if you guys would actually do this shit in an actual analyzed debate. So yeah, there's all that, but I digress. It's still, it would be, even if we do tone back some of the more DBZ elements of the original Haloid, I still think that this animation would just go fucking hard. Would go fucking... Doomslayer and Doom Guy are the same guy, yes. But back when they did that match, the Doom reboot was not out yet, so he was just Doom Guy. Now, the two most recent Doom games, Doom Guy is comparatively small little baby bean man. Hi, I'm Doom Guy. Hi, I'm Paul. And then Doomslayer's like, hi, I'm Paul. Like, I'm sorry, Chief's dead. I'm sorry, Chief's gone. If they do that rematch though, I'm all for it. It's not what I voted for, just because I imagine it's gonna win anyway. So I didn't vote for that. Uh, because it's more than likely gonna win. It's either gonna be that or Mewtwo versus Shadow. That's I believe one of those two are gonna win. But in the event Chief versus Doom Lad does not win, this is my go-to. This is my go-to personally. I speaks for itself. You just watch Haloid, and even if you go ahead and pretend that that's actually Master Chief, like it. And again, they would have to cut back the DBZ a little bit, otherwise it would be like, okay, all right, like you two are badasses. You don't do this shit. Calm down, calm down. But yeah, we can do two Monty tributes. We can do two: Ruby versus Maka, Chi versus Samus. Just do it. Even if Chief versus Doomslayer does get a rematch, uh, just like right after that episode, just be like, okay, the next episode is gonna be Chief versus Samus, because Chief got his dick ripped off, just clean ripped off. He's done. He's done so. Next up, this one, this one was not on my original list that I made last year at all, and it rocketed all the way up to number 6, and it was so Death Battle music kicks ass. It's admittedly though not something that I listen to on my own time a lot. Like I know all the like Mighty, Hikari, obviously all the big ones that like the community like always talks about. Like I listen to those. I haven't listened to all of them on their own a lot, and I haven't listened to too many of Brandon Yates commissioned tracks too often. I've listened to a few, but not too many. But then he drops. I'm gonna play it real quick. Let me see if I can find it. This one, a commissioned track, single-handedly made me go, "How did I not think about this? This is the greatest fucking idea to ever grace mankind." Uh, Brandon Yates comes out with "We Are Number One." And we can move on. Next one. That's I I it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's I heard the track, or like I didn't even hear the song. I saw the thumbnail. I saw the thumbnail for the song, and I just my brain was transported to an alternate reality. Just like I was like, wait, I how did I not think of that first? I don't know if this was a matchup that's been talked about a lot. I don't know, but if it has, I've been sleeping on it, because the millisecond. I honestly can't put it into words. It's number 6, and I have like nothing to say. It's perfect. They're both purple. Next one. No, they're both purple. They're both miscreants. They're both people that I would 100% trust my child to stand near in a dark alley. Perfect matchup. It's like it's one of those. It's like I saw the words Waluigi versus Robbie Rodden, and immediately I could picture the animation in my head. I could picture how the fight starts. It easily Waluigi is setting a trap for the Mario Brothers. Robbie Rodden is setting a trap for Spartacus. Sporticus? I forget. I've watched like 5 episodes of Lazy Town, and sure enough, they all involved memes. Like there were 2 times in real life where we all achieved world peace collectively. The first time was when Pokemon Go came out, for the first like month or two, and then the second time was when We Are Number One came out, and that was the only 2 times we as a collective human race achieved world peace. So Obviously, one of the few Lazy Town things that I know is obviously we are number one, and do the cooking by the book, stuff like that. But even not knowing much about Lazy Town, Robbie Rodden is just my goat, my rote, my rod of all time. Again, one of those things where like I could picture the animation in my head. Waluigi's trying to capture the Mario Brothers with a terrible improvised trap. Robbie Rodden's doing the same with Sporticus, but then they both accidentally end up catching each other at the same time, and then they both are like, "You're lousy," and then they just slapstick ensues. And again, Toon Force will be involved. Mario speaks for itself, obviously, but then like uh in We Are Number One, Robbie Rodden just like flat out takes a cannonball to the chest and just goes flying off into the distance, and he's fine. So there will be Toon Force involved. So it's probably still not like a serious debate, but it's goddamn dude. I didn't even hear the song yet. I saw the thumbnail of the commission track, and I was immediately like, this is genius. We solved world hunger right now. We are feeding the people with content. And then I actually heard the song, and I'm like, okay, now it's number six. It's number six, dude. So we better see Waluigi slip and slide on a banana peel. It's one of those ones that speaks for itself. I think personally, it was not on my original drafted list like a year ago, but then as soon as that commissioned track came out, it's yeah. All right, next one. All right, now going back to what you said about the one chatter earlier who brought up Makoto Nijima versus Tifa. So, number 5, again, much like SCP, number 5 is just any other Persona character for me personally. I don't really care. The only Persona matchup that we've had so far is Weiss from Ruby versus Mitsuru. And it was a decent episode. Not one that I think about, but it was decent. It was all right. Um, but it's been a hot minute since then. I want another Persona matchup. Uh, that's another thing. I probably should have stated at the top. Half of this list is video games. I'm sorry if you made it this far into the video and you're like, oh, this guy just plays video games. Yeah, I tried. I tried to vary the list up as best I could, as best I possibly could. Uh, but half of it still ended up being video games. I'm sorry. I did my best. But uh, yeah. So Persona. I want to see another Persona matchup. I don't really care what it is. There's one obvious one that we'll talk about in a minute, but I saw the cast where they did Makoto versus Tifa, and admittedly, it's like one of those ones where it's like they don't they don't have a lot in common. I think they have base similarities. Two girls that dress like bikers, that punch and kick real good, and they can summon monsters. And like they don't really have much else in common. But sometimes base level similarities is enough for me. And this is one of those ones where it's like, okay, I accept this. I accept it's not everything needs to be 1000% deep connections. Sometimes you just need girls who can punch good. And one summons Bahamut and the other summons a fucking motorcycle. And that's all you really need. So I would be down with Tifa versus Makoto, but the obvious Persona matchup, and one that's definitely going to happen, like the matchup I'm about to show you, just forget about it because Joker versus Giorno is happening. It's 100% happening. It's apparently a super toxic debate, even more toxic than like most debates by internet standards. I wouldn't know. Thankfully, most of the forums that I check, thankfully the arguments are civil. So I have I have plot armor. I have managed to avoid most toxicity. But I have heard that people will like go to war over Joker versus Giorno. But but they're 100% doing it. They were at the end of Galactus versus Unicron, before Rooster Teeth shut them down. They teased. They did a teaser. They showed 3 tarot cards. They showed the Fool. They showed Death. They showed the World. Death Battle, the Fool, Persona, the World, Giorno. It's clear cut. They're gonna do it. I would not be surprised if at the end of Bardock versus Omni-Man next week, I would not be surprised if Bowser versus Eggman isn't the very next one they do. I would not be surprised if they announce Joker versus Giorno at the theater at the event. I would not be surprised. My chair is sinking. I grew smaller in the last like 5 minutes. Okay, I have to fix my chair real quick. So make no mistake. They're gonna do Joker versus Giorno. What I'm about to show you is null and void. It's not happening. But again, I'm cool with any Persona matchup. But by default, my head did go to Joker. And I was like, okay, who else could Joker fight besides Giorno? And I'm like, you know what? If they want to give Sora a run back, maybe it's again, teenage kids, bunch of heart motifs, power of friendship. It makes sense to me. I'm not necessarily dying for a Sora comeback. I'm not really dying to see Sora return. If they do another Kingdom Hearts character, I imagine next in line would be Riku. But if they want to give Sora a run back, and if Joker versus Giorno didn't exist, I personally I like it so much it's making me stutter. I'm going crazy. I think this one makes sense. I like this one, and another one of those ones where I can picture how the animation plays. It would definitely, I mean, it would depend on how much budget that they have, but if they have enough budget to like at least have like they're not going to show you every fucking Phantom Thief, and they're probably not going to show you Donald and Goofy, at least not if it's full 3D. But like if like over like earpieces or whatever, you hear characters talking, like just like the fight starts out, it's like Sora's like, wait, what? You're Sora, genius that he is, will obviously look at this black coat and be like, he's with the organization, and then he's gonna be like, you're stealing people's hearts, and then Joker's gonna be like, what? No, bro, I'm not. Chill out. And then Donald's gonna be like, and then Ryuji's gonna be like, for real? It's, yeah, I don't know. It's the animation is just a recording of a Smash Bros matchup with items on. Yup. All right, it's time for a death battle, and then it just cuts to tournament footage at Evo. It just random nobodies playing in pools. It's just Sora versus Joker. Yeah, it's Morgana's just gonna be like, oh god, Sora's so stupid. Please kill him, Joker. Akechi's gonna be like, this duck is, I'm gonna turn him into duck sauce. I don't know. But, yeah. So it's another one of those ones where, and Akechi! Yeah, I don't know if there's any matchups for Akechi, but, if anyone can give me a good Akechi matchup, we can throw this one away. We can forget about this. We can forget about this one anyway, because again, Joker versus Giorno is 1000% happening. But, if anyone has an Akechi matchup, we're gonna throw this one away. But yeah, so, Akechi versus Part 4 JoJo villain. I don't know who Part 4 JoJo villain is. Again, I don't know JoJo spoilers. I'll get to that eventually. But yeah, I don't know. Preferably someone with Akechi or Makoto versus Tifa, or I'll take again. This encompasses any Persona matchup. I'll take what was it? Chie versus Mako from Kill la Kill. I'll take whatever. I need another Persona matchup. The only matchup for Akechi I can think of is against Akira from Astral Chain. A different Akira. He hates Joker so much he finds another guy with the same first name and is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, bro. So, but again, number 5 we can throw it out because again, Joker versus Giorno is happening. And if they do Kingdom Hearts again, I imagine Riku will be the next one up. But if Joker versus Giorno wasn't happening, and if they wanted to bring Sora back, I think Joker versus Sora makes a lot of sense to me. It boils mostly down to just like two kids, power of friendship, heart motifs, and that's really about it. Again, not all of these got to be like the most deepest connections. Sometimes base level works perfectly fine, at least for me. But speaking of kids, I also love murdering kids. And you know who else loves murdering kids? This is a great segue. These two love murdering kids. They love murdering kids so much that this thumbnail isn't even is a different ratio. It's a different size. I didn't notice that. Oops. Well, whatever. You're gonna see Wiz awkwardly stick out in the corner here. Pennywise versus Freddy Krueger. I feel like we can legitimately not spend too much time on this one. This is they did Jason versus Michael. I had a couple issues with that episode, but I thought for the most part it was still like pretty good. It scratched my itch. Again, Scooby versus Courage. So they've done like most of the Halloween episodes that like make the most sense, but like this is like the currently like the biggest omission. I believe it was on last year's poll. I believe. I don't think it won. I don't think it won the round that it was in. But it just it makes sense. They both love murdering kids, and they don't even have to fight. They could be best friends. They could be like, yo, you hate kids too? Yo, hell, yo, homie, yo, homie, yo, dab me up, dab me up, Pennywise, dab me up. But does Freddy have Prince Albert in a can? Oh my god, no, he doesn't. Oh, fuck. Oh no, Freddy's screwed. He doesn't have Prince Albert in a can. Oh no, oh no. Oh, what? Chris, do you like The Simpsons? You missed the part of the stream like an hour ago where we talked about this. Oops. You missed this part of the stream. So stay tuned for the YouTube VOD, which will be up in a couple of days. But so yeah, now Pennywise is apparently in the books, or not books, the one book. Apparently in the book, Pennywise goes beyond like in the movies he's portrayed mostly as just like a demon, but apparently from I don't know if I'm pulling this out of my ass. In the book, he's like a cosmic entity that like he's in contention with some fucking Cthulhu type being called the Turtle or something. I don't know what that's about. So if that's correct and we're taking like book scale and we would have to do book scaling, then yeah, Pennywise wins for sure. But god damn it, the fight would be I don't even know what they would do. The fight would be like, I feel like there's many ways you could take the fight. I don't know if they want to do live action. Live action might be like a bit too much because they would have to do a bunch of special effects to like get across how fucking dream warp defying these two are. But so they could do 3D. They could do hand drawn animation. If Luis did a whole 2D fight with this, that would be Kino, my dude. It's yeah. This one speaks for itself. I'm content to move on. I'm content to move on. This is like the last, in my opinion, major Halloween spooky themed fight that they have yet to do, and they better do it. Or else. They better let that episode out of the can. Okay. Next. Speaking of Luis, going to another member of or ex-member of the Death Battle crew, Torian the Goat. If you have a favorite Death Battle animation, odds are Torian did it. He did a lot of Death Battles early on. But then at some point he left. But as part of the Kickstarter stretch goals, he is returning to do a fight. I believe it's not confirmed, but speculation leads most of us to believe that he likely will probably do Ruby versus Maka, I think. But if he doesn't, you want to know what's... Torian's fights are cool. You want to know what else is cool? Trench coats. Two people wearing trench coats. That's the theme. No, it's a little more than that. Wesker takes priority in this matchup. Wesker is I want Wesker in a death battle. Wesker's the only other Resident Evil character that I care about getting a death battle. And I was trying to think of Wesker opponents, and I couldn't think of any. And then apparently they did do this on the cast, but I thought about this like before the cast. But I forget where I saw it, but one person brought up Kazuya, and I was like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah. So both of them, obviously trench coats. That's all you need. Their eyes glow red. They're both infected with some bullshit. Albert Wesker's got Ouroboros virus. Kazuya's got the devil gene. They have both been thrown into a volcano. One of them survived, the other didn't, but they have been thrown into a volcano. They both hate their dads. I don't think Spencer is Wesker's dad, but the idea is similar. And they got trench coats, bro. I keep going back to the trench coats, but dude, these two in a fight, it screams Torian to me. I don't know what it is about it. I do know what it is about it, but I can't put it into words. It's I saw someone also suggest Wesker versus Norman Osborn, which I also accept, but I definitely prefer Wesker fighting Kazuya. So I don't know if Wesker is Green Goblins. I mean, maybe I see the vision as a gut reaction. I see the vision, but I think Green Goblin probably has better opponents. But when I heard Kazuya, I was pretty much like, yeah, okay, this is the one. Even if Wesker has better opponents or Kazuya has better opponents, as soon as I heard this, I was like, okay, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's all for me, dog. And even if Torian doesn't animate this one, again, he's probably doing Ruby versus Maka. But if he does this one, all you guarantee this is gonna be top five animations, Death Battle history, bar none. Now that said, though, before Tekken 8, I think Kazuya wins. I don't want to call it a slam dunk, but he definitely wins. I think Wesker might have the speed advantage, I think. But Kazuya pretty much decimate him in all other categories. However, spoilers for the end of Tekken 8. Apparently, unless they go back on it, they already went back on Heihachi being dead for the 17th time. Unless they go back on it, it appears that Jin and Kazuya have now lost the Devil Gene at the end of Tekken 8. So, depending on how they depending on whether or not they include the Devil Gene, which they probably will, because they tend to, when they put combatants on the show, they tend to interpret them at their peak. So you would have to give him Devil Gene. But apparently, so far, until they change their mind, he canonically no longer has it. But whether or not he has it, I think Kazuya wins. But if he does have Devil Gene, he stomps for sure. But the fight would be so sick, especially if Torian animated it, and I don't care. Just do it. Just do it. Just fucking do it. Kazuya, saturate, completely, globally saturate this man's entire career. Okay, Kazuya? Just fucking Harada's like, no, Heihachi's definitely dead. For real? No cap? On God? And then, wait, hold on. We can sell him? Never mind. Heihachi's alive, and you can throw the sickest combos for only $10 or however much he is. I don't know. Heihachi is definitely dead. Heihachi Mishima is dead. For real? For real? For real? Now, the next our final two matchups both contain the two characters that I want to be in a Death Battle episode the most. I would say that perhaps one character in the number 2 matchup, if we're talking individual characters, this one character is probably number 1, but I'm not familiar with their other opponent. So the matchup that I have in first, the one character I want is probably number 2 on the individual character rankings. But as far as number 1 individual character, Sly Cooper's gotta get on the fucking show, bro. He's gotta get on the fucking show. They gotta get my man out of Egypt, and he's gotta throw hands. He's gotta throw hands. I know nothing about Lupin III. I know nothing about Lupin III. I saw that Death Battle cast, but it was so long ago, I forgot everything that they talked about Lupin. I'm sure Lupin's cool, but Sly, we have to revive my boy. We have to revive my boy. The only other Sly matchup that is apparently talked about the most is Rouge the Bat, but we're feeding a character to a Sonic character again. Sonic stats. Sly. Again, I don't care. I don't care about characters getting decimated. I don't care about clear stomps, especially if it's like part of the joke, or like the point of the episode, like Homni Man. I said Homni Man. It's, oh dear God. It is. Remember when I said that this stream was going to be under an hour? We're almost at 2 hours. Hoo boy. Omni-Man versus Homelander. Obviously, Omni-Man wins. Obviously. But we're here to watch the fight anyway, bro. But Sly versus Rouge the Bat, no. Rouge the Bat wins. Please do not feed my beloved raccoon child to the Sonic character with insane speed stats. Please, let's not, please. Just... Omni-Man. Hey, I personally identify as a homnisexual. I don't know about the rest of you. I'm personally I'm a homnisexual myself. That's probably a real thing. Is that a real thing? Can someone let's just derail the entire stream almost 2 hours in. Can someone Google homnisexual and tell me what they find? Please have safe search turned on. I am not responsible for whatever your eyes see. I digress. I just want Sly Cooper in the fucking show. If he has to fight Rouge, so be it. I'll accept it. 5 seconds is all I need. Here I go, and then just kills Sly in a heartbeat. But I would be interested to learn about Lupin III. Although I do not remember the cast that he was on, I don't remember it. I remember at the time being like, okay, this is interesting. So I'd be interested in the matchup. But I gotta see Sly. I gotta see Sly. It sends me to omnisexual. Yeah, omnisexual is a real thing. It's when you want to. It's when you're sexually attracted to anybody who sounds remotely like J.K. Simmons. When somebody asks you if you want photos of Spider-Man and you just go, oh, all right. And finally, so again, Sly Cooper, individual characters, number 1. This next matchup features a character who would probably be number 2. But the matchup itself overall, number 1. We gotta get the No More Hero himself, Travis Touchdown, and Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim is my preferred matchup for Travis. Scott Pilgrim, I have not read the comics, but I have seen the movie. I have watched the Netflix show, and I have played the video game like the first hour. And I also went to an Anamanaguchi concert, and I had to leave like on their 4th song because the warm-up acts were like an hour and a half, and by the time Anamanaguchi actually got on stage, I was just so fucking tired and drunk and all this other stuff, and I was standing for like 2 hours, and there was like a fucking mosh pit, and I was dying, and I was sweating, and so that's Scott Pilgrim. That's my Scott Pilgrim experience, is almost dying at a concert, or feeling like I was gonna die. So like, haven't read the comics, but I have experienced the other Scott Pilgrim media, and No More Heroes. Again, if you've watched my Twitch streams, if you know me, if you've been around for a hot minute, you know No More Heroes is my shit over there. So yeah, Travis touchdown. Individual characters, number 2 behind Sly Cooper, but matchup, this is the one I want. Travis's other opponents, the other 2 that I've heard are Jack from Mad World and Juliet from Lollipop Chainsaw, uh, which I get, but also nah. It's so I think the only reason that people suggest Jack is because they're both M-rated games. They're both noteworthy M-rated releases on the Wii, a platform notorious for being child friendly. So there's a little bit of that history there, which I can understand. But it's also like, it could work. It could work. But and then Juliet again, both Suda51 games. They both have that vibe, that aesthetic, the over the top cartoonish violence. So I agree with that there also, but just in terms of like of thematics and just like similar personality traits, I gotta give it up to Scott for my preferred Travis matchup. They are both gamers slash otakus slash nerds who uh their boners control them. Everything they do because, oh, that woman's pretty hot. Okay, all right, I'll go fight your 7 evil exes and or an entire League of Assassins. I'll do that. You play one No More Heroes game, you watch the Scott Pilgrim movie or like read the comics. You pick up, they have a similar vibe. Travis is obviously way more violent and crude, sure, but they're the same person. They're like the same person. Travis kills. Scott kills, but in quotation marks, so it's fine. It's I don't know. I I this matchup is here for No More Heroes mostly, but I have grown an appreciation for Scott Pilgrim mostly thanks to the movie and the Netflix show. Again, I have not read the comics, but yeah, it's they both got this. They're both the same person. You can call them both Limp Bizkit because they both did it all for the Nookie. Exactly. And on that note, that's the list. That's the. Oh, by the way, this also is what I voted for the it was uh if they hadn't already done Sly versus Lupin for the Death Battle cast, that would have been my vote for the Death Battle cast for the Kickstarter. But they already did that, so my vote was Scott versus Travis. Scott was on last year's poll. They put him against the main protagonist of Konosuba. I have not seen that show. I know nothing about it. I'll assume it's a good matchup. I don't know. If Konosuba's Scott's best matchup, I don't know. Hey, sure, cool. But just going off of me myself and I think Scott's best matchup is Travis. I think Travis's best matchup is Scott. So, hey y'all, Scott, stop me. Anyway, all right, this is over. Everybody, hey y'all, Scott's leaving now. Bye. That's the video. So you know what? We didn't do it in under an hour, but we did it in under 2, which is just 1 hour. But again, so when you think about it, I did this whole thing in a very timely fashion, and everyone's gonna watch the full thing, and the YouTube VOD's gonna get a bazillion views, and everyone's gonna watch the whole thing through, and they are not gonna turn it off the millisecond they see this. They're not gonna turn it off. In fact, they're gonna see this. They're gonna be like, Chris is spitting. This is the greatest fucking Death Battle list of all time. Anyway, all right. So hey, everybody in Twitch chat right now, thank y'all for stopping by. Thank y'all for watching the whole thing. Anyone watching on YouTube who actually made it through the whole thing, thank you. Again, I apologize for half the list being video game characters. My chair shrunk again. Oops. Sorry for half the list being video games. I wanted to, and sorry for it being 2 hours. I feel like I should also apologize for that. I wanted to do this video before the Kickstarter ended. That was a month ago. Oops. And I also was gonna like pre-record it. It wasn't gonna be like live streaming. But I didn't want to script it, and something unscripted when you're like doing it by yourself in a void with like no one, with like no chat to like bounce off of occasionally, it was hard. I couldn't do it, but I didn't want to script it, so I was like, hey, you know what, fuck it, let's live stream it, let's see how it goes. And you know what, I think it went pretty good. I think we all had fun. I think we all had a great time. we all we all we had content today. Content was had. So thank the Twitch chat for hanging out. Thank you, YouTube VOD viewers. I'm interested in potentially doing more stuff like this. Again, Death Battle has been something that I have consistently watched for the better part of a third of my life. So I am looking for excuses to use my second channel a little bit more often. So I am probably not immediately, probably not for like the rest of the year, maybe, but at some point, I would like to look into, especially once the new episodes are airing and they're like in a groove. I would potentially like to do more Death Battle type stuff like this. I don't know if I'll live stream all of it or if some I'll do, you know, to a camera myself off stream, unscripted. We very much, this was an experiment. I think a successful experiment, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. The future is unwritten. But for a while there, it looked like Death Battle's future was certainly written. It looked like it was probably not coming back. The future was unknown for a little while there, and then sure enough, somehow through some black magic, they managed to buy the rights to Death Battle back, and now we're gonna get Death Battle forever, and ever, and ever, and ever, and ever. There's gonna be so many murders, so many murdered children. Pennywise and Freddy, they are creaming their jorts right now. So excited. So, yeah. The end of the Kickstarter, by the way, yeah, like, again, within 20 minutes, they met their goal. And they made it to, like, $700,000. So, we're good for a while. This chair keeps fucking going down. Why is it doing this? I am a little baby boy. The stream is now over. Goodbye. Thank you all for coming out. Potentially more Death Battle stuff on the second channel at some point. I would like to, again, a third of my life. It's a $5,000 to go to Texas. I think I like the show a little bit, so I wouldn't mind doing more stuff like this. Anyone watching in the YouTube comments right now, do you have any Death Battle topics you would like me to talk about, or any topics in general that you think I can shoot the shit about on a live stream and then upload it later? I'm down to hear whatever you got. If you somehow made it this far into the video, if you somehow without offing yourself like the judge from Off. I really don't know how to end streams. That's a me problem.